Evolution has had 4 billion years, more tries than there are stars in the sky, and a genuinely unhinged imagination. It invented the eye more than 40 separate times. Flight, 4. Glow-in-the-dark butts, dozens. Venom, so often it's basically a personality trait. The wheel? 0. Not once. Life looked at the single greatest travel hack in history, the thing we eventually bolted onto suitcases, and went, "Nah, we're good. We'll keep the legs." Which is a little embarrassing, honestly, because the wheel is so simple a toddler can draw one. It rolls. It barely wastes energy. We slapped it on cars, chairs, and cheese. And yet life, which figured out sonar, photosynthesis, and the platypus, never once bolted a wheel onto anything bigger than a germ. So what does nature know that our entire highway system doesn't? 3 things, and they're funnier than the wheel. Problem 1. How do you feed a wheel? A real wheel has to spin all the way around, forever, which means it can't stay wired into the body. But body parts are needy. They want blood, oxygen, a snack, a nerve to complain with. So run a blood vessel into a part that spins 1,000 times a minute. Congratulations! You've invented the fastest phone charger cable in a backpack. It winds up, it knots, it rips clean off. A living wheel strangles its own plumbing on rotation number 1. Which leaves 2 options. A dead wheel that rots and can't heal, or a live wheel that instantly murders itself. Neither exactly screams reliable transport. Problem 2, and this one's deep. Evolution cannot plan. It's a blind hiker who is only ever allowed to step uphill, never down, not even for a second. Not even if you plant a giant glowing sign in the valley that says, "Free wheels this way." Because every generation has to beat the last one, and a half-built wheel is not an upgrade. Picture it. A round, bony lump on your hip that doesn't spin yet. What's it for? Nothing. It's a tumor with ambitions. It doesn't roll, it just makes you lean to one side and lose fights. Selection takes one look at proto-wheel guy, says absolutely not, and deletes him. The finished wheel might be a masterpiece, but it's stranded on the far side of a canyon full of useless, in-between weirdos, and evolution doesn't do canyons. Problem 3 is the one that actually makes me laugh, because we forget it constantly. Wheels are only good on roads. Think about where a wheel goes to die. Sand, mud, stairs, roots, one ambitious pine cone. Hand a deer a perfect set of wheels and it gets maybe 4 feet before a twig ends its entire career. Wheels need a hard, flat, connected surface, and for basically all of Earth's history, no such thing existed anywhere. A wheeled animal in the wild isn't a super athlete, it's a shopping cart in a forest. It's why, when we send robots somewhere genuinely nasty, we keep quietly bolting the legs back on, and why even our Mars rovers, the pride of human engineering, have gotten famously, mission-endingly stuck in sand. Legs, meanwhile, are showing off for free. They step over the log, they climb the tree, they cross the river on 5 wet rocks like it's nothing. A wheel needs the whole planet sanded flat first, and out there, nobody sanded anything. Which flips the entire question. We treat the wheel as the crown jewel of progress. But it isn't the best way to move through the world. It's the best way to move through our world, the one we personally paved, flattened, and de-pine-coned specifically so the wheel would stop embarrassing itself. We didn't just invent the wheel, we had to invent the floor for it. Except, plot twist, evolution did build the wheel. A real one. Free spinning, mounted on an axle, driven by a motor, with instant reverse. It's just roughly the size of a rumor. Most bacteria swim with a corkscrew tail called a flagellum, and it doesn't wave like a tadpole, it spins. At the base sits an honest rotary engine, a wheel on an axle, whipping that tail tens of thousands of times a minute. And down at that size, the whole plumbing nightmare just evaporates. No blood to knot, no nerve to snap. It runs on a trickle of charged particles, and the parts are so tiny they simply turn. So the wheel was never banned. Nature invented it almost immediately, at the one scale where it's easy, then never scaled up, because flesh and blood can't spin. The wheel isn't proof evolution is dumb. It's proof of how it actually works. A brilliant, blind climber, stuck forever on the wrong side of a valley from an idea it already nailed once, in something too small to see. Which is genuinely humbling. Our proudest invention, the whole symbol of human genius, and we got beaten to it by pond scum. By billions of years. In a vehicle smaller than a wavelength of light. Somewhere in a puddle right now, a bacterium is doing donuts, completely unimpressed by your car. If you like the ideas evolution somehow never got around to, subscribe. There's a whole junk drawer of them. Stay curious.